Hi, I'd like to comment on the Mexican border. You know, they think it's that the cause and effect of everything is from what is called as heroin. The crossings of drugs and weed. Do you know what really they don't focus on? Is illegal porn trafficking. That's simple. Yet, Mexico, how many Mexicans have crossed the border that have built cities, that have done their jobs to make sure they support their families? There's a situation on our own. The president before every president has a whereabout to understand that the authority through the president's mouth is he can form states. I'm coming to an order of knowing that I see it. What our concern is more illegal human trafficking than anything. And that goes for more of the females in this country than it does men. We see that there's a widespread of channels of hot pornography that makes you want to masturbate on yourself if you're a man that's single. Sorry to say, do I look like a pervert? For years and years, they've never targeted the ways of what and how they introduce porn on the internet, as well as porn on television and cable. But yet, do you know that most women that do porn happen to have a need for heroin, coke, and crack, and heroin, and drugs? You could think that I'm a crackhead, but I'm a victim of so much violence because people have robbed me for my stuff to go sell my stuff to take the drug. Therefore, I feel as if it's not the border of protection. It's why can't we expand our states and put down 3 new states and govern those 3 states by making Mexico a part of our country. That means also Dubai. The Mexicans, for one thing, England founded the East Coast, and yet Spain founded the West. So therefore, Mexico is a part of that Spain heritage. We should know how people migrate. And on course of that, if this message is not listened to, and I'm not discussing, then I'm not making a signal conclude. Trump, if you want to build a wall and keep most Spanish people out, well, there's more to understand that we have a lot more Latinos that are in Mexico, in U.S. So what do you do with the ones that are in the U.S. that happen to have that citizenship? There's a portion of it. When we expand our states and we give our government to say that we can form 3 states and put our U.S. Federal Reserve right where they're at, and the government sources that need to help them as we do our own, that means more money for the federal government to be thrown back to the Federal Reserve. Why am I speaking this? Because I'm related to 3 presidents as far as I know. The 4th president that I feel I could be related to is Ronald Reagan, or George Bush Sr. Now, as I see, I can understand there's a drunk hobo, but if you can keep Mexicans out, why don't you start with the homeless to get them off the streets and rehabilitated from off that situation that is transported from Mexico? There's liability to understand that you need to understand to separate the classes of what is called as employment. We know that whites started the country to form. I think as if white Caucasian homeless male should have more benefits than other nationalities. That means Mexicans, blacks, Asians, and Spanish. Well, I said it already. To up the Social Security on whites and more of that which is conclusion. Because if you do that, then we have more money to spend in the economy as Caucasians, because we're English, Irish, Europe, France, and Russia. Why is that I'm doing that? Mexico, you get a minimum of what is called as food stamps. Well, as Caucasians and those that are of this country, we should get a higher pay rate in Social Security as well as food stamps and cash aid, and yet give them a minimum. That means we get an extra amount of money every first of the month to every end of the month. 911, why can't I have about what, 1,200? That's the courses of it. Because with the whites, it gives them a signal that they have what they have because the check is bigger with the Caucasians and the whites. Don't get me wrong, this is the government that formed this country. And I can understand that a lot of veterans are So therefore, by upping the pay rate to those that are Caucasians, that makes a settlement. See, this one right here has got a wing nut problem. Which is true. That all Spanish and blacks and Filipinos happen to give lesser. That's what I'm saying. All right, how you doing, dude? I'm gonna finish my recording.